Brewski, I'm in my zone like a 2-3. Sue me, urban gorilla, no Gucci. The scriptures I be kicking like Bruce Lee. Check my precepts raw, this my time, so I stay in the coupe. On the corner throwing balls like I'm Drew Brees. Yeah, tap out for your hour, we bringing them best out. Better heathen, cause he winning his fat mouth. Off the dribble, I be ballin' like.
Hey, can I talk to you, bro, for a second? I got a couple questions. What's going on with you, man? How you doing? Good, good, good. Let me ask you first and foremost, what were you guys talking about?
He was just talking about how I felt about like my political oppression.
Okay, what's your ethnicity? Your father's ethnicity. What's your ethnicity?
My father's Mexican, my mom's Mexican.
Okay, so praises, man, for sure, man. That's why you can't judge a book by its cover or go off looks, man. So you say your father's Mexican?
Yeah.
He's native to Atlanta, Mexico?
No, his grandfather. So my grandfather was born in New Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
But he grew up out here in San Francisco.
Okay. Well, I was just asking, like, he's indigenous is what I should say. He's an actual indigenous Mexican?
Yeah.
Okay, for sure, man. So what's your knowledge of what we're doing up here, man? Or what's your take on the Bible? Because we're up here preaching the Bible, the truth of the Bible, right? What's your take on it?
I don't get into the Bible so much, like with everything that's going on. I mean, I feel like if you follow it, you'll have a great life, right? I mean,
Okay.
The instructions on how to live, whether it's the Quran or the Bible, I think it's all kind of a way to.
Well, we can get into the whole thing about the Quran.
That's why I don't get into the whole everything.
But yeah, no, I'm asking you not to like put you down or anything. I'm just just seeing where we can meet at a common ground and have a discussion or a dialogue, right? So let me ask you a question, and it's not to judge you or anything. What is the reasoning behind you not necessarily like looking too much into the Bible and stuff like that? It can be personal reasons, it can be whatever, right? What's your reasoning?
I don't know, man. I just did 7 years in prison. I see some of the worst people in the world, right? So it's hard for me to believe that this person is this high and mighty and can make all these great things happen. When
Give me Romans 9. Go ahead.
And I'm real on the yards, like the most hypocritical cats are the Christians, man.
That's right. That's right.
And I hated that.
All of a sudden you find out some white boy got stabbed up and why? Because he's traveling so we don't hear Bible something all the time.
Right.
Like,
Or the one that's in the services every Wednesdays and Sundays is in a room. ODs 2 weeks later, or shooting dope. They're hypocritical or in politics still, but he's in the church. You know what I'm saying? I've seen so much hypocrites, Christian hypocrites on the yard.
So and that's why I'm saying it's not even to judge you, right? Because just exactly what that brother was saying, right? We go out into the world, right? Or we come as kids, going into church and stuff. Our parents taking us into church, and we see all this these what we like to call prosperity teaching, right? All this happy-go-lucky stuff, right? They tell us all this stuff about God, and they tell us all the happy stuff, right? They don't really ever go into the Bible or really tell you anything that really would benefit you or tell you about the real world in life, right? But what if I told you, right? Like how he was saying, right? When you meet a Christian, right? You see that a lot of these Christians or these so-called religious people are some of the worst people in the world, right? Like you said, like they'll be Bible thumpers doing this and that, but behind closed doors, they're a whole demon, right? They're a whole different person, right? But what if I told you that the Bible talked about people like that, right? It talks about the good and the bad, right? Like to touch on what you said, like how can I believe when I go out into the world and I see it's people like this, right? Like evil people around and it's nothing but evil, right? But we have to understand, right? What they told us about God, right? What they told us about God in church, it's not even about, it's nowhere close to how God really is or what the Bible actually talks about. Because the Bible talks about all this stuff, right? It talks about how God made good and evil. It talks about how God made everything for its purpose, right? So when we see and we look at why the world is the way it is, it's all for a specific reason, right? And the prime reason of why the world is filled with so much evil, why it is the way it is it has to deal with who's in power right now, right? Because give me this real quick, right? Let me show you something real quick, right? Give me that give me when that righteous are in authority. Proverbs 29:2. Kind of give me that real quick and go back to what Yash had was holding. Right, I'm gonna break this down for you real short and simple. I don't know how much time you have, but it's the reason why I asked you your ethnical background, right? Because according to the Bible, right, these teachings of this Bible, right, the promises and everything, the blessings that was written in the Bible, they tell us that it's for everybody and God loves everybody. But what if I told you that God specifically only made the world for one group of people, right? And for the prosperity of one group of people, right? Go ahead and give me this real quick.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 29, and verse 2. When the righteous are in authority.
When the righteous are in authority, right? Now, when you look at the word righteous according to the scriptures, it's talking about men that follows the laws of God, right? Men that structure themselves on God's laws, right? Because we don't learn that in the church, right? They don't teach you the laws of God, right? They don't tell you anything about that. All they tell you is God loves everybody. Oh, you're going to have a great day, a blessed life, even though you could be going through hell, right? And just pass that collection plate around, put $100 in the collection plate, and we'll pray for you, right? But that's not how God works, right? So it says when the righteous are in authority, and specifically the righteous in the scriptures are talking about a specific group of people, right? Now go ahead.
When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice.
When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, man. Everybody's happy. Everybody is functioning how we're supposed to be as a society. Everything's going smooth, right? But we see in this society that this society is a hellhole, right? Like you said, we got people who are rapists. We're around murderers. We're around people. We're around our own people that hate each other, right? Go ahead.
But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn.
When the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn, right? Let me ask you a question. What race of people rule the world right now? White people, right? White people rule the world, right? Now, they call America what? They call America the New World, right? That's why they have something called the New World Order, because when America was coming into play, right, and the structure of America and the system of America was coming into play, this was considered the New World, right? I was actually just looking into something, but I'll go into that another time. The people who are ruling the world, right? It just said what? Go ahead.
But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn.
When the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn, right? So this whole system, right, that the world is under, right, ran by the white man, it's leaving everybody in the system of hell and oppression, right? Whether you go anywhere out the country or you stay over here, man. This whole system that America has constructed, right, with the rest of these nations, it's not working. It's not working, and that's why where you see the world on the borderline of going into World War III, man. Because you have countries that are fed up with America, you have America's own citizens that are dwelling within it, fed up with it, and the whole rulership of the white man controlling everything is turning everything to shit, right? Now, why am I focusing so much on making this a race thing? It's because when you read the Bible, God makes this a race thing, right? You said you're Mexican, right? Or from your father's side. Let me show you something. Give me numbers real quick. Or actually, what you have in Titus, so we don't skip over the point of what he said, right? Go ahead. And what did I have you holding? Okay, Romans 9:21, right? Okay, we're going to go back to that, and then we're going to go to the point, right? Go ahead.
This is the book of Titus, chapter 1 and verse 16. They profess that they know God.
Just like you said, like these people, right, who these so-called religious people, they profess that they know God, right? They act like they know God. They want to talk to you about, what you should and shouldn't be doing, right? But they're what?
But in works, they deny him.
Their actions, they deny God, right? Like you said, you went to, you just got out of prison or whatever the case may be, and you're around all these people who claim that they know God, and they want to judge you or talk to you about what they think they believe, right? With no evidence of their work showing how God changed their lives, right? They're still the same people, right? That's what this Bible is talking about right here. There's people like that in the world, and there was people like that back then, right? Because those people don't truly know who God is. Go ahead.
But in works they deny him, being abominable and disobedient, and unto every good work reprobate.
These people are abominable and they're disobedient in every good work, and everything that they're supposed to be doing as people who so-called believe in God, they're reprobate. They refuse it. They don't do it. So they don't set a good example to our people who really want to learn how to serve God. That's why we have our people we push the Bible away, man, because we've been going in these whorehouses called church, these churches so long and being lied to for so long that our people have a bad taste about what God is and what the Bible is. That's why a lot of our people don't believe in God no more, man, because we're like, we've seen so much opposed to what everything's supposed to be like. We're like, well, where is God, right? That's why our people say, where is he at? If God is real and he's here, where is he at? But that's the thing, we don't have the true knowledge of the Most High, right? Go ahead and get that real quick.
This is Romans chapter 9 verse 21. Hath not the potter power over the clay of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor?
Now this is Paul making an analogy, right, with what I was just mentioning, right? He's saying, have not the potter have power over the clay, right? Somebody that who does art, right, or sculpt something, right? He's basically saying, go ahead and finish, right? You have a potter, right? The person who actually molds the sculpture, right? And then you have the object, which is clay, right? The potter being God, and everything else that God made being the clay, right? Go ahead.
Hath not the potter power over the clay,
right,
of the same lump, to make one vessel unto honor?
So with that same clay, right? God making that, with that same, with all his creations, taking from that same lump that he's going to take, right? Go ahead.
And another unto dishonor.
He's going to make something of honor and make something of dishonor. He's going to make good and evil out of that same creation, right? This is how the world was made, right? This is how the Most High made everything, right? He made good and evil, right? He made positive and negative, right? So that's why we have an imbalance with evil in the world, and we also have good in the world. Because when you think about it, right? We see life like a story or a movie, right? If everything was just perfect right off the bat, it would be boring, right? This is like God's movie that he's having played out for us, right? But you have a specific role at being a so-called Mexican man in this movie, right? Just like us brothers up here, we weren't all doing this at first. We were doing a whole bunch of stuff, right? Some of us brothers were selling dope, doing all type of wickedness, gang banging, all that, right? But then, what we're doing, you won't see what the church is doing, man. They don't go to the hood. We come to the hood to talk to our people, to show them the true light, right? That's what we're supposed to be doing, shining our light in the darkness, right? Go ahead. Was that all of it? Right? Give me Yeah, let's get to the point. Numbers 1 and 18. Let me show you the truth of the Bible that the scripture don't go to. I mean the Christians don't go to, right? Give me this in Numbers 1 and 18 real quick. Yeah. Actually, let's build up on points, right? What's your knowledge about God, right? Let's start there. Let's have an actual dialogue. What's your knowledge about God, or what you were taught?
I mean, basically, God has created the heavens and the earth, right? Just like they say in the first, book.
Right.
But my biggest thing that got me to push the most away was the difference between the Old Testament and the New Testament, right? So it's like, first it's God had these certain laws that you had to abide by, basically, and if you did, you sinned, and you could go to hell, right? And then,
give me that in Matthew.
And then it's now, as long as you believe Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior, you're going to be fine no matter what you do.
Well, let me tell you something right there, not to cut you off. You're what we would identify as somebody that's a logical thinker, right? Because that's what you just said, right? With that mindset, right? People they look at the Old and New Testament in church. They say, oh, let's throw away the Old Testament, right? God gave us these laws. You don't got to listen to him no more. Because now that Christ is on the scene, all I have to do is just say, I can be the worst person on earth. I can murder 1 million people and then on my deathbed just be like, oh, I believe in Christ. And everything's all good, right? But what if I said, that's not even what the Bible teaches, right? That's what we call religion teaches. You know what the word religion actually means? The word religion, right, it's derived from the Latin. The word religion actually means bondage. To put something in bondage or slavery, to bind something. So that's why they gave us religion. The Latinos, right, the ancient Mexicans, they didn't believe in religion. Black people before slavery and colonialism, we didn't believe in religion. Our people never believed in this ideology of religion until we learned it from other nations, right? Until we learned it from mainly the European men, right? We believed in a divine source and one God, which was the God of the Bible, right? So when you look at any of the history, it all lines up with the Bible, right? And we're gonna connect on that, right? So like you said, they tell you when Christ came on the scene, all those things went out the window, right? You don't have to listen to the laws of God or anything like that. But that's not what Christ teaches. Let's read something from the New Testament. Go ahead.
Matthew chapter 5 verse 18.
Right? It's the words of Christ right here.
For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law.
So that's Christ right there, right? They tell you in church, you don't have to keep the laws of God, but you got to follow Christ. But Christ right here is telling us that none of the laws are ever going to be done away with. He said, until heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall no wise pass from the law. We still see that we're on heaven and earth. So what does that mean? The laws of God from the Old Testament, we still have to keep, man. We still have to keep those laws, and they still apply to us today, right? Now, the other thing, I wanted to let you finish your statement. What else pushed you away from believing, or not necessarily believing, but wanting to read the scriptures, right?
Most of the two parts. But I don't know, some sort of seem far-fetched, and I think you kind of just was.
Like what?
Well, I believe, like I said, it's a way to live your life, right? To live all the Bible, you should be successful. Like, it just seemed like a big Aesop fable, but more on a bigger scale, more bigger spectrum.
And that's what they want us to believe and think. But what if I told you the stories that happen? My bad. The stories that happen in the scriptures, like Noah's Ark and stuff like that, all that has just been proven. Even Noah's Ark, that was just proven like 2 years ago, right? They actually found Noah's Ark. You know where they found it at? They found it on the mountains of Turkey, right? You can look it up right now. The exact measurements and the cubits of that ark that Noah had built, right? And this is what they call the pre-diluvian world, right? Which means before the flood, right? When Noah was building this ark, not only does every culture across the world, what's that word? Concur or agree that this was an actual event that happened. They found this ark off the mountains of Turkey, fitting the exact measurements that is described in the Bible. So they found this ark in ruins, and they was like, okay, this is something that really happened, right? So a lot of these stories did really happen, but a lot of the ways that they're told to us as kids is not correct, right? But what I wanted to ask you, right? You ever heard that God had a chosen people?
Like angels, basically?
Well, you can say you can say angels, but I'm talking about an actual race of people that He created. Because they tell us God loves everybody and God made everybody equal, right? But what if I told you in the Bible, and the truth about God is that He made everybody, but out of everybody He made, He only chose one people to be His.
I believe it. I mean, I got 3 kids, and I can tell you there's a fire, and I can only save one. There's one I know I'm saving. Like, it sounds fucked up, but like, that's up, it's kind of...
Exactly.
You can't tell your heart not to, like, it's something that...
Exactly.
More, right?
So, here's the thing about us and God. We have the same mindset as God, right? Because He made us in His image. The same emotions we feel, He feels. The same way we think, He thinks. But He thinks in a righteous, more orderly fashion than us, right? Because He's the creator of the universe, right? Now, I'm gonna show you why they don't want you to read the Old Testament, right? Because here's the thing of why they don't want us to read the Old Testament. Who fills up as racially, right? Who fills up most of the churches, or 90% of the churches? What race of people? Black people and Hispanic people, right? We fill up those churches because spiritually, we are the most connected and inclined to God. We're the people who are searching the most for the answers, right? Because we don't have it all together in this land. And that's why we go out looking to and fro to get the answers about God and looking for the answers to our problems in the world, right?
There's got to be a reason, right?
It got to be a reason, right? It has to be, right? With all the how downtrodden we've been as a people, and don't let them fool you, how the Latins, the Mexicans, how you guys been treated has been the same exact treatment that the black people have been treated. Even to this day, we're no different. We're brothers and sisters in this. You can get gunned down in the street by another Mexican or black man or a cop the same way I can get gunned down in the street by another Mexican or a cop. But you don't see that happening to any other race of people, right? So what do we see this as? These are curses that are happening to our people, right? Just like prison. All these things, we fill up the prison population, right? When you look up on the statistics, right, they try to say that white people fill up the prison population, right? You'll look at it and it'll say most of the prison population is white, but that's not true. They only do that statistically because on some of the statistics they add Mexican people and Latins. They put them under the white umbrella, even though we know you guys aren't white, right? So that's the game they try to play, right? And try to be like, oh, statistically white people fill up the prison population. No, we fill up the prison populations of America, right? Go ahead, give me that.
Isaiah chapter 42, verse 22. But this is a people robbed and spoiled.
All right, this is a people robbed and spoiled, right? Let's show who really this Bible is talking about, right? Damn the Christianity, damn the religion. Let's read the Bible for what it is and see how it fits our lives. Go ahead.
But this is a people robbed and spoiled.
Right? What happened to the ancient Mexicans, right? This was originally you guys' land, right? This was y'all land. You guys got robbed of it, and to be spoiled of something means to be exactly what that means. Something to be taken from you, right? To spoil you rotten, something to sabotage you, right? This is the people robbed and spoiled. Go ahead.
They are all of them snared in holes.
They are all snared in holes, right? When you look at that word snare, it means trapped. It means to be trapped in a hole, right? What do our people love to say? Oh man, I'm in a trap right now, man. Yeah, we out here trapping, right? We don't even see how mentally that affects us in what we're saying. We're trapped, right? We take pride in being trapped, right? Go ahead.
And they are hid in prison houses.
They're hid in what?
Prison houses.
Who is this Bible talking about, right? A people that's robbed and spoiled, and they're in a trap, right? And they propagate themselves to be in a trap, and they're in prison houses, right? They fill up the prison population. Go ahead.
They are for a prey,
right? They're for a prey. People prey on these people, right?
That's right.
People take advantage of these people. All throughout history, the Black, Latins, and Native Americans, we've been taken advantage of, and we've been preyed. That's why we're out here trying to tell our people to wake us up. We're the people of this book. Go ahead.
And none deliver it.
And nobody's helping us. Nobody's helping us. Not Cesar Chavez, not Martin Luther King. Nobody has helped us out of this situation that we're in. Go ahead.
For a spoil, and none saith, restore.
And everybody looks at us, right? When we do these God-forsaken marches, right? And we want to march with our enemies, and we want to beg our enemies, oh, please stop shooting us, stop arresting us, stop harassing us, treat us like people. I'm not 3/5 of a human. Not one nation. No matter if you go over to any other nation, nobody gives a damn about us, right? That's what that's saying. There's a people that this book is talking to. They're being preyed on. They're robbed. They're being put in prison houses, and nobody across the world gives a damn about these people. That's what that book is saying. So who is this book talking about, right? The Christians propagated to be everybody, but this is not happening to everybody. This is happening to you and my people, man. This is happening to us, right? Go ahead. So let's talk about who the Lord's people are. Go ahead.
This is Deuteronomy 28:1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God,
right,
to observe and to do all his commandments.
Are you familiar with Moses? You remember Moses did what, right? He said to Pharaoh, let my people go, right? And that was what he was told from God, right? He went to Pharaoh and told, because Moses was an Israelite. Pharaoh was an Egyptian, right? So they weren't the same people, but Moses was raised under the Egyptians as like he was an Egyptian, but he wasn't, right? So that's how you also know Moses was a so-called black man, right? Because the Egyptians were described as dark-skinned people. He had to be dark-skinned for him to fit in with them, right? So he's telling, just like Moses told Pharaoh, let my people go. His people were the Israelites. The Israelites were in slavery under the Egyptians, right? So after they had left out of the Exodus, God gave Moses the laws to give to the Israelites, right? These laws were standards for them to live by so they can be socially empowered and know how to treat one another, right? Go ahead. So what do you say? Read that from the top. This is Moses telling the congregation what God told him. Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So he rounded everybody up and he said, look, God told me this. If we hearken diligently into the Most High, what?
shall hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments,
Right.
which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
So God said, if we listen to his commandments, right? 'Cause they tell us it's 10 commandments, but it's 613 commandments, right? And this 613 commandments is not to condemn, was not to condemn these people. It was to teach these people how to run a perfect society, like a utopia. So he said, listen, if we just listen to what God is telling us to do now, we're going to be the greatest people on earth. We're going to be above everybody else. Which shows you right there, that's strike one to Christianity, to these churches and religions. There's no equality with God. Because if there was equality, why is he putting people above other people, right? He's saying, listen, give me that Leviticus 20 real quick, right? Give me that Leviticus 20 and 26. God had a favorite group of people, right? Since the beginning of time, he always had a chosen lineage. He made everybody, but he always had a chosen lineage. That's why he had Adam, right? Then Adam had who? He had Cain and Abel. But out of Cain and Abel, you know, Cain killed Abel, and then he had Seth, right? So the blessing got passed down to Seth, and then it's so on and so forth, all the way to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? So Jacob was the progenitor of the Israelites. Moses came out of Jacob, right? So he was a part of that chosen seed line, right? Go ahead, and let's see how God has a chosen people.
This is Leviticus chapter 20, verse 26. And ye shall be holy unto me.
Holy. The word holy, right? They tell us, like, they try and make it to seem in church like it just means to I don't know, like, I'm just a good person and stuff like that. But the word holy means to be separate, to be separated from everybody else, right? So he said, you're going to be separate to me from everybody else. Go ahead.
For I, the Lord, am holy.
For I, the Lord, am separate. I'm separate. I'm the only God, right? Out of all these fake gods that these other nations have conjured up, I'm the only real God. You're going to be separate and special to me. Go ahead.
And have severed you from other people, that ye should be mine.
And I have separated you from other people, that you should be mine, right? He's talking to the Israelites. You're going to be my people. Everybody I created, I'm going to take everybody away, and I'm going to make you my people. You're going to be the special people to me. You're my favorite child, right? Go ahead.
This is Deuteronomy 7 and 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself. Above all people.
Above what?
Above all people.
Above what?
Above all people.
Above everybody on earth, right? There's no equality with God, man. Because you can't even see, when we go outside every day, there's no equality, period. There's no equality, period, man.
That's right.
Life, art reflects life, man. Art reflects life, man. Go ahead. And this book is a wonderful work of art when you know how to read it. It's a great saying, man. This book is real, man. And this book is true. Just don't let a liar teach it to you, man.
Right.
Don't let these goddamn churches teach you their fake truth about this book, because they don't know what this book is about. They don't know the struggle of what it feels like to be a person of color, right? You're considered a person of color, right? It don't matter what shade or of skin tone you are. It's all about who you go back to, what your ancestors went through, right? You are your ancestors, right? Go ahead, go back to that.
Amos chapter 3 verse 1. Hear this word that the Lord hath spoken against you, O children of Israel.
O children of Israel, right? That's who the Bible is about. The children of Israel are mentioned by name in the Bible more than 1,000 times, right? More than you see it mention anybody else. That's the children of Israel is mentioned more than anything else in the Bible. More than Christ himself, right? Go ahead.
Against the whole family, which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known.
You only have I known. Go ahead.
You only have I known of all the families of the earth.
Right.
Therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities.
So, let's put a pinpoint right there. He said, you only have I known out of all the families on earth. So this is the reason why I'm going to punish you for all your sins, right? You're the only people that I've known. You're the only people that I came to face. So when you look around and you see, okay, why aren't these people suffering? It's because I've only known you. I've only dealt with you, right? So let's see, right? Go back to that in Deuteronomy. Let's put it all together and make it all make sense, right? What's your name, brother? Tom. Let's make it make sense for Tom. You're going to get some answers today, man, that you probably had questions for in life, right? We're going to give you the answers. Go ahead.
is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15.
Right?
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God,
Right?
to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall
what?
All these curses shall come upon thee.
So we have verse 1 saying, listen, listen. Moses telling the Israelites, listen, if we listen to God and do everything he tells us to do, we're going to get blessings, right? Verse 1 through 14, right, of that chapter, Deuteronomy 28, he said, we're going to get all these blessings. We're going to rule the earth. We're going to get all the land that we want. We're going to be prosperous, all the wealth, all the women, everything that a man everything a man can dream of, right? Rulership, divine rulership, and peace, and superiority. That was all the blessings from verse 1 all the way to 14. But on the flip side, verse 15, he just said, now listen, on the flip side, if we don't listen to God, then we're going to be cursed. We're going to receive curses. Give me some of the curses, man. And let's see who this fits as a people. Get whatever. Get whatever. We're going to break down any of them. Go ahead.
This is Deuteronomy 28 and verse 33.
Let's see who this fits as a people, Tom.
The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up.
The fruit of thy land and all thy labors, right? Everything that you work for, your crops, your agriculture. Another nation is going to come over and they're going to eat up and take up all your everything that you work for, right? Huh?
Generally speaking, like the Mayflower.
Just like the Mayflower, right? Slavery, colonialism, right? That's real simple. Like even right off the back, you can see that. That's what you can apply that to. So they always tell us, oh, this book is billions of years old, which the world haven't even been around that long, but that's another topic. We can see this is something called a prophecy. And that's how you prove if the book is real or not, because prophecy means something that was told from back then that came true later on. Something that you're foretelling to happen in the future. We can see that this happened to people in the future, just like you said, the Mayflower, right? Read that again.
The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up.
Did that happen to the Mexicans? Before, when the European man came over here, they came over and took everything, right?
Pillage, everything.
Oh, you said they did what?
Rape, pillage, they do
Give me that verse, right? He said they raped and they pillaged, right? He said that just so happens to be another curse. That just happened to be another curse. Go ahead and get that for me. It should be in the like 30 something, right? 38 or something. No, them taking your woman, you're going to betroth a woman. It should be in the 30s. Go ahead.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 30.
Right?
Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her.
Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. Well, out of your own mouth, you just said it. They came over here, and they raped our women. Right? We had our wives, we had our women, we had flourishing agriculture, we had flourishing cities. Right? They try to make it seem like we were animals, right? They try to tell us we were animals and all this wouldn't be without the white man, right? But we were the people that built this country. We constructed this. The white man wouldn't even have this kingdom if it wasn't for the blacks and the Latinos, man. We constructed this, man. Because they knew we're the power of God, man. They knew we have the wisdom of God, man, to make such a flourishing society, right? So they took everything from us. Go ahead.
Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. Thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein.
Thou shalt build a house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. What's one thing that we can think of, right? Other than all these other houses that we built, all this whole land that we built, but our people can't even our people can't even afford the rent for it. Our people can't even get on this so-called Section 8 that the government has set up for our ultimate detriment. Our people can't even, we got more black and Hispanics homeless on this land, and we built this damn land up, man. Right? Our people go to war and fight for this wicked ass kingdom, and they can't even come home and get paid for it, right? I just seen a movie about that. A brother went and fought for this nation, and he couldn't even get the money that he deserved for it, man. And what did he end up doing? He went to go try to, he went into desperate measures, right? He tried to rob a bank and ended up getting killed for it, man. Just because he was trying to get what he deserved and what he was owed, man. That's how they do us as a people, man. We put so much into this country to get nothing out of it, man. And that's why we have to flee out of this this mentality of being American or being one with this place, man. Because this place is going to go to hell, man. The Lord's going to destroy this place.
Other countries, like when you go to war, if you fight for war, your family's taken care of forever. They put you on a whole, like, it's almost like an SSI, but
exactly.
Your rent, everything's paid for.
I mean, that's how it should be, right? If you're giving your life for the country, they should give you some life back. They should provide something for you, right? Go ahead, give me some more precepts. Actually, get to the main point, because I want to tell this brother who he is. Go ahead.
It's Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
Right.
And thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long.
Let me ask you a question, Tom. What does that sound like? Your sons and your daughters are going to be given to another people, and you're going to look helplessly as they get taken away from you. Slavery, and what can we see happen in our time?
Prison, jails, juvenile hall, foster
prisons,
homes, everything.
Foster homes, CPS custody.
Yep.
CPS custody. You're sitting there, and exactly at the border. What's happening at the border? They're stripping the kids away from their parents, man, and putting them in cages and watching them die, man, watching them get sick, probably touching them, molesting the kids, doing all types of wickedness, man. This is what we're going through as curses, man.
They disappeared, actually. Thousands of them just went up missing.
Kids just disappeared and gone missing, man. Go ahead.
And there shall be no might in thine hand.
And there's nobody, we can't even help. We can't help the situation. We got to watch our kids get pried from us by a nation of people that's not our own, right? Because they feel they can take care of your kids better than you could, right? Just like the Indian Welfare Act that Hazza brings up, right? That's generally what that's about, right? Thinking that, they're in unsafe hands, right? And they'll be in better hands being raised up or being taken care of by the white man. But we see how the white man has taken care of us in these last couple of decades in this country, man. The white man don't give a damn about a black or Hispanic man, right? What is the white man? What is the founding fathers of this country said? He said the best type of Indian is a dead Indian. They don't give a damn about us, man. And the sooner that we realize that as a people, and it's not all kumbaya, and that these so-called these white people and all these other races don't give a damn about us, the better we'll be, man. That's right. Because we wanted to shake hands with these people for too long, man. We need to shake hands with each other and stop this black and brown division, man. Because you're my brother, regardless of what shade you are. The law of God says if somebody is coming against you, I'm supposed to defend you like I'm supposed to defend myself. That's right. But what do, right? We watch our brothers get slayed on these streets. Go ahead.
Lamentations 4:17. As for us, our eyes have yet failed for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us.
Exactly. Our eyes have failed for our vain help, and we're watching for people who can't save us, man, that don't want to save us. Go ahead.
They hunt our steps.
Right.
That we cannot go in our streets.
Right.
Our end is near. Our days are fulfilled. For our end is come. Our persecutors are swifter than eagles of the heaven. They pursued us upon mountains and laid wait for us in the wilderness.
Exactly, man. Let me tell you, this Bible, they try to make it seem like it's so far-fetched and it's so long ago. Everything that's happening now was happening then. Because us as black and Latino people, we've been enslaved almost since the beginning of time, man. Almost since our inception. Not directly since the beginning of time, because we had our kingdoms. But like it said, when we fell away from God, when we fell away from the laws of the Bible, I'm just keep it flat out with you and get to the point. We are the Israelites. We are the people of this book. Right. The so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, we fit these curses, man. We've been enslaved in time, right? That's why you went through prison, right? That's why our brothers up here went through all these. That's why we, as a collective group of people of color, that's why we're going through what we're going through, right? Because God is persecuting us for us to get back in shape and come back to Him, so we can be the ruling power of the world again, right? Go ahead.
This is Jeremiah chapter 15 and verse 5. For who shall have pity upon thee, O Jerusalem?
Who's going to have pity upon us, right? Because before Jerusalem was a city, it was a people. Who's going to have pity upon Israel? Go ahead.
Or who shall bemoan thee? Or who shall go aside to ask how thou doest?
So who's going to check in on us, right? We try to record these videos, these marches and all this and that. Oh, somebody help us. Just like that scripture said. We're looking for everybody to help us. Nobody gives a damn. So we got to care about ourselves. That's why we're out here telling our people to get right. Go ahead.
Thou hast forsaken me, saith the Lord.
We've forsaken the Most High God, right? Go ahead.
Thou art gone backward. Therefore will I stretch out my hand against thee and destroy thee. I am weary with repenting.
So everything that's going on to us, the so-called blacks, Latins, and Native Americans, and people always say, oh, you guys just want to blame the white man, all this and that. We take fault in what we did too, because we wouldn't be in this situation if we did the main thing we were supposed to do, keep God's laws.
That's right.
That's all he asked for us to do. That's all he asked for us was to do. And what was his laws? Give me
And that's the main reason why we said the church isn't necessarily the answer for it.
Right.
And that's why you fell away from church. They're not going to tell you the whole reason for the season. Like, oh, Jesus, okay, that's fine.
Exactly.
We recognize the world calls Christ as well as the future king of earth for the most part. But they're not going to tell you to keep the laws of God. That's the first thing they're going to tell you. Oh, the laws are the way with. Like he said out your mouth. We just got to believe in Jesus and everything's fine. That's not what the Bible says.
Through the Spirit, he said.
Revelation 14 and 12, and then get Acts 24 and 14.
And
then get John 5.
You get John 5. Get what he's asking for. Baba Kachuk. Go ahead.
This is Revelation chapter 14, verse 12. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus.
The patience of the saints, right? Get the verse right before that. Here's the patience of the saints. When you read the word, the etymology of the word saints, right? Because we go into the Greek and the Hebrew, which is what the Bible was written in. The New Testament was written in Greek and Aramaic, Old Testament in the Hebrew, right? And when you look at what these words mean, the word saints in the Greek, it says the children of Israel. So the same people we're talking about, right? The children of Israel are the saints that are patiently waiting. Waiting for what? We're waiting for the Lord to take vengeance on our enemies, man.
Right.
We're waiting for the Lord to restore us and give us that justice, right? That we're looking for, right? Our people look for this thing called justice, but what is the root of the word justice? Just. We're looking for a just, what you call that? A just, trying to think of the word. No, we're looking for a just judgment. Like, we're looking for the Lord to restore our enemies with what we've been dealing with, right? Go ahead. I say go to the verse before that. Yeah, what is it again? Oh wait, no, it's lucky. Never mind. Yeah, what you got? What you got? John 5 and what? 3?
I don't know. 46.
Oh, 46. Read that.
Give me Genesis real quick. I'm gonna show this brother how
John-
he's an Israelite.
John chapter 5, verse 46. For had ye believed Moses, ye would have believed me.
Right? So this is Christ saying, he says, if you would have believed Moses when he was telling you what he was telling you, you should believe in me. Because Moses prophesied about the Messiah, right? He prophesied about Christ coming, right? Go ahead.
Let's talk about the law.
Oh, yeah, Slakia, yeah. I'm tripping on that. He's talking about the law, yeah, exactly. But when you read in the Old Testament, the prophecies of Christ, right, coming in the inception of the New Testament, he's spoken about all throughout the Old Testament, the Messiah coming, right? But yeah, he's talking about if you were to listen to the law, you should believe in me, because Christ came to teach the law. He came to tell our people to come back to the law. Go ahead.
For he wrote of me. But if ye believe not his writings, how shall ye believe my word?
If you don't even believe in the writings of Moses or the Old Testament, that's a cut to the Christians, right? They tell you not to listen to Moses or the Old Testament. How you gonna believe in Christ? Go ahead.
I got a point too. It says, like, you know how long the Christian church has been teaching their spirit for the last 400 years to us, man, right? And if they've been teaching the truth, watch it. This is the words of Christ right here.
Right.
This is Matthew 24:14. Let's start at 13. But he that endured to the end, unto the end, the same shall be saved. The Christian church will tell you, oh, you're saved as soon as you start believing in it. But Christ says, him that endured to the end shall be saved. Well, watch what he says. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. Exactly. And if they've been teaching the truth, like what they have been teaching for the last 400 years, this kingdom wouldn't be standing right now.
Right.
Because the end would have came already.
Right.
So this is proof what they've been teaching for the last 400 years is not the truth, man.
Right. Exactly. And this knowledge that we're coming out and teaching right now, this This is something that's only been propagated, right, as something big in the last like 60, 70 years, man. And the Lord is making this movement grow bigger, right? I don't even want to call it a movement, because this is the truth that's coming out, right? Okay, this is the truth. This is the real awakening, right? Everybody just want to be so-called woke, man. But it's no better thing than, like, I used to be in conspiracies, man. This just tied everything together for me. I used to be into the, oh yeah, let me look at what this about the Illuminati and this and that. Oh yeah, the devil is controlling the world. Well, you goddamn right the devil is controlling the world. Because you know who the Bible says the devil is? The goddamn white man, man. That's who the devil is, man. It all tied in together, man.
He's right there.
He's right there. That's one of the devils that control the world the most, man. And he's written about in the Bible. He's written about in the Bible. They talked about how, the Bible talks about how the white race was going to conjure up a false ideology of Christ and conquer the world with that in the book of Maccabees. One of the 14 books they took out of the Bible. Oh, Wisdom of Solomon, Slakia. Yeah, the Wisdom of Solomon, right? It talks about how, you know who that is? His name is Caesar Borgia, right? Son of Pope Alexander II, right? Sixth. I'm all over the place today. Yeah, Pope Alexander VI. He had a son, right? Pope Alexander VI, he had a son, and he was on his deathbed, right? The Pope, he was on his deathbed, and he commanded, pretty much like, you know, like his nobles or whatever they were to him, he commanded them to paint an image and a likeness of his son, which was Caesar, right? Not to mind you, I mean, not to even just put it out there, this man was a murderer too. He killed his brother-in-law to have sex with his own sister. And this is the man that's supposed to be the Messiah, right? This is the person that they propagated to the world. So the Pope had this man, the picture of his son painted, and then he got it sent over to the Americas, right? He got it put all across the world. He had it sit out and commissioned all across the world, and he used that image to conquer our people, right? He brought that to the Aztecs. He brought that to the Negroes. He used that. That's actually what they brought to the Aztecs. The Aztecs were putting up a fight, and they pretty much gave them a proposition. They said, you bow down to this image, or we're going to kill you. We're going to kill you. We're going to rape your women and take your land. And some of them didn't fight. Some of them bowed down, right? But some of our people who were strong and already knew, man, I'm going to die for my God anyway. They fought, man. Because they did that anyway. They still killed us and robbed us and took our women anyway. So you might as well die for your God, man. But, go ahead, read some of these curses.
Deuteronomy 28:49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far.
Right.
From the end of the earth. As swift as the eagle flieth.
As what?
As swift as the eagle flieth.
Watch this. Let me show you how crazy this Bible is, right? You got something? You got a picture of the dollar? It says, the Lord's going to bring a nation against you from far. As swift as the eagle flies. Now, the Bible is very, it uses a lot of metaphors and analogy, right? As well as it being literal. Look at this. When you look at every, even all the way back in antiquity, when you look at every European nation, even all going back historically wise, back into the first European civilizations, their symbol has always been an eagle. Yeah. Germany, eagle. Spain, eagle.
This is the Spanish eagle.
As swift as an eagle flies. And they came from a far land and came over and conquered. That's what he was talking about. As swift as an eagle flies, right? Go ahead.
As swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
Because they came over speaking a different language, right? Now, when our brothers and sisters, they were speaking different dialects of Hebrew. Even when they came over here to the Americas, they were still speaking sub-dialects of Hebrew. Pretty much like broken Hebrew, right?
Which morphed into the native languages, the indigenous language, Nahuatl, and all the indigenous languages that our people spoke before the Spanish came.
Exactly. And they came over speaking a different language. So that's why I said, whose language you're not going to understand. They had to physically beat us to understand the language, right? To understand English and all this. They had to beat the hell out of us. Go ahead.
A nation of fierce countenance.
Right, a fierce countenance.
Which shall not regard the person of the old, nor shew favor to the young.
Exactly, right? That's why you see pictures of black or Hispanic babies being in the field. Old women and men being in the fields picking, getting their hands bloody from picking that cotton, or or the fruits and stuff like that, right? This is all what the Bible was propagating to us years ago, right? And this is why the church tells you, don't read the Old Testament. Because you read the Old Testament as a black person and you find out you're, or not even a black person, as a person of color, a black or Hispanic man, woman, or child, you read that and you find out you're the Israelites, you're like, I'm reading my history book. Wait a minute. Some of this is what they taught us in school. But it wasn't the full truth. This is what this Bible is propagating to us, that we are the Israelites, right? And it's up to us to teach our people and see, this is our book. A white man can't teach you this book. A white man can't teach you this book because they ain't been through what we've been through as far as oppression. Go ahead.
This is Deuteronomy 28:54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother.
Go ahead.
And toward the wife of his bosom.
Exactly, right? So it says his eye shall be evil toward his brother. The man that's tender and delicate among you, right? What does that sound like to you? You got an evil eye toward your brother. Your brother being, like you say, like they say in the scripture, your neighbor. You're somebody of the same flesh, somebody of the same color as you. Not your literal brother, but not, the same lineage and race as you. You have an evil eye toward them, right? What's that sound like? And this is how the Spirit bears witness, man. That's right. This is how the Spirit bears witness, because you're getting it like that, man. Gangbanging, man. Gangbanging. That hatred, that innate hatred we have for each other for no reason, right?
And the people that supposedly call themselves Jews ain't going through this.
Right.
The people that calling themselves Jews today, they're not going through this.
Give me that Revelation 13.
Finish this verse.
Come.
So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom.
What's that sound like? You gonna have an evil eye toward his brother? You already said that's gangbanging, and toward his wife as well, right? And but actually finish it off.
And toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave.
Wait, which he shall what?
Which he shall leave.
What's that sound like?
Drag on, I mean,
Domestic violence.
broken home.
Domestic violence and broken homes. Where's that happening to the Chinese man at? Where's that happening to the Jewish man at? Where's that happening to the Arab man at, man? The people you see that happening to is black and Hispanic people, man. They try to put it...
Native Americans.
And Native Americans, too. Exactly. And Native Americans. They try to make it seem like it's only... That's the thing I hate. Black people try to, like, I'm saying this too. Black people try to make it seem like black people are only people facing black people problems. Our Latin brothers are facing the same problems as us because they're the same people as us.
Having it worse.
And yeah, exactly. The Native Americans are having it way worse than us, right? These people are drinking shampoo and soap and getting disinfecting, getting drunk out of their minds every day to escape the depression that they're in, right? They don't even have their own land. Or they don't even have their own homes to go to. These people are still stuck on reservations, man. Under the system and oppression of the white man, man. Alongside with us, man. This is our book. Go ahead, what you got? Give me that in Revelation, right? Go ahead.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 2,
Give me Genesis
and verse 9.
49. Bible Christian.
I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich, and I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan.
That was the words of Christ right there. He said, I know your works and your tribulation and your poverty, right? He said to the real Israelites, I know what you're going through. I know how you're being you're tried. I know how these tribulations you're going through and your poverty, your poor state. Because yes, we have a few brothers or sisters in the black and brown community that have their riches, right? But what did they do to gain those riches? A lot of them sold out to do it. Selling out their people, selling out their bodies, selling out their souls, right? Selling out their morals. That's all that selling your soul means. You can't really actually sell your soul to anybody, right? I used to believe that. What selling your soul is talking about is selling out your morals to God, right? Because we're born with a moral compass as black and brown people. We know right and wrong. But our people sell out their own people and sell out themselves to get a little bit of prosperity. But Christ is saying, I know all that you guys are going through as a community, but you're rich. So how are you poor and rich? How are you poor and rich? Well, yeah, spiritually. You're spiritually rich. Why? Because the blessings belong to us. God gave those blessings to us. Nobody else, right? The promises about the kingdom in heaven, right? They tell you, the white man tells you, man, you want to go to heaven, you gotta die for it. You gotta die to get to heaven, right? But God's saying all you gotta do is live for Him and keep His word, and heaven will be right on earth for you, man. Right. He will make heaven for you, man. Yeah, come on. And then he says, and it goes on and says, those people who call themselves the Jews, right, in the land of Israel today, Christ is saying those people are the synagogue of Satan. They're not the Jews. They're not the real biblical Jews. The real biblical Jews and Israelites are the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans.
And the brothers and sisters scattered all over.
And the brothers and sisters scattered to the four corners of the earth, right? Who went through this oppression with us as a whole, man, right? That's who the Israelites are, man. You're an Israelite, brother. Let me show you how you're an Israelite. Go to the book of Genesis, right? One of the first books of the Bible, or the first book of the Bible. Come, go ahead.
This is Genesis 49 from the top. And Jacob called unto his sons and said, gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days.
So Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel after he fought with the angel, right? This is the man I was telling you about, the progenitor, which means the person who the Israelites derived from, right? The progenitor of Israel, Jacob, he had 12 sons, right? And out of those 12 sons, they had descendants, right? So this is how it works with the scriptures, right? You are who your father is. That's why I asked you who your father was. Give me Numbers 1 and 18, so we can go back to that and prove that. So he gathered his 12 sons together. He said pretty much like, gather together, because I'm going to tell you guys what's going to happen in the last days, right? So he's going to tell them a prophecy, right? Go ahead. None of this happened to any of his sons right then and there. So this had to be talking about his sons' descendants. Go ahead.
This is Genesis 49:14.
Verse 14, right? To go to who? One of his kids. Go ahead.
Issachar is a strong ass couching down between two burdens.
It says, he's telling us, like I said, he's telling his son a prophecy again. And he's using a metaphor. He's saying Issachar. That was the name of his son, right? The name Issachar coincidentally means he is for hire. That's what his son's name means. He is for hire, right? So we're gonna show. I'm gonna make a lot of quick comparisons with this. He said Issachar is a strong ass couching down between two burdens, right? When you look at the so-called Mexican culture, right? What is the main animal that you guys use for symbology? A donkey, an ass, a burro, right? That's what you guys' main animal that they try to symbolize what you guys with or compare you guys to. They put a donkey, right? That's why it says Issachar is a strong ass, is a strong donkey couching between two burdens. Now donkeys are used for carrying things usually, right? Like mules, right? And they usually have two side satchels, right? So it said it's couching down between two burdens, like those two side satchels, right? Those would be the burdens considered to the donkey, right? Where is the land of Mexico geographically? Between North and South America, or Central America, correct, right? This brother's getting it. So that's what it's talking about, right? It's making the prophecy is being symbolic for the land of Mexico being between the two burdens. The two burdens that burden Mexico is North and Central America, right? Those are the two places, or South America. Those are the two places that pretty much oppress Mexico, right? Go ahead.
Issachar is a strong ass couching down between two burdens.
Right.
And he saw that rest was good.
What is one of the things that the Spanish word for rest that Mexicans have, or Latin people have? Siestas, right? You guys have siestas, right? That's your like time for rest, right? That's what that's talking about. He said he saw that rest was good. Siestas, right? You guys are likened symbolically to siestas and always resting, right? Working hard and resting, right?
Rest in the field.
Go ahead.
And the land that it was pleasant, and bowed his shoulder to bear, and became a servant under tribute.
He said Issachar saw that the land was pleasant, right? Agriculturally, Mexico is one of the best lands agriculturally. That's why we get all our crops and our food and stuff from there, right? And we get it transported over to here, right? Not to mention, we're not people who promote drug use up here, right? But just like that's why they take a lot of the drugs from Mexico and stuff like that, because Mexico is very fruitful. It's a fruitful land, right? So America, which runs off a few things, right? It runs off of guns and drugs, not just like the food and stuff like that. That's why they go to Mexico and in the South American countries to get all their stuff, right? Because agriculturally, Mexico is one of the most fertile lands over here in the Americas, right? Go ahead. And it said you guys bowed your shoulders to be a servant of the tribute. That's talking about when you guys got conquered, right? Even up into today, Mexico is still working for America and gets paid pretty much like pennies, right? You guys don't even get to see, like it said in Deuteronomy, you don't get to see the fruits of your labor, right? That's why the whole situation with the government and everything being so messed up over there is because America is oppressing it. America's government pretty much runs Mexico's government, man. It overshadows it.
Latin American countries.
Exactly, all Latin American countries, right? It overshadows it, right? And it dominates it, right? So you guys are, no matter how you see it, you're oppressed. Go ahead.
This is 1 Chronicles chapter 12, verse 32. And of the children of Issachar.
Now this is another prophecy, right? Or another characteristic of the Issacharites, right? Go ahead.
Which were men that had understanding of the time.
Right.
To know what Israel ought to do. The heads of them were 200, and all their brethren were at their commandment.
Exactly, right? So it says the children of Issachar were men that had understanding of the times, right? What did the ancient Aztecs build? Pyramid. You guys did build pyramids. Hey, and just to point that out, like you said, you guys build pyramids, right? Just like Egypt, right? That's how you guys also know you're the Israelites, because the Israelites were building the pyramids in Egypt, right? Well, the Americans have the most Hebrew artifacts and more pyramids than it does in actual Egypt. So who built the pyramids? You guys had to build the pyramids over here when you came over here, right? If you guys built the pyramids in Egypt and you come to America and you see that America has thousands of Hebrew artifacts, right? Not even just in Mexico, but you guys have hella pyramids
And perfected the
and perfected it. That means who built the pyramids? White people want to say, oh, they always want to say, oh, aliens and stuff like that, because they don't want to give us our credit. We're the best damn people on the earth. That's right. Y'all built the pyramids, man.
If it wasn't white people, it was aliens.
Exactly. If it wasn't white people, it was aliens, man. That's what they like to say, man. Let's give a round of applause for the Mexicans, man. You guys, because you guys are the children of Israel, man. You guys are great people.
Explain the understanding of the time.
Exactly. So, the understanding of the times, you guys built something called the Aztec calendar, right? Just like how the Mayans built the Mayan calendar. You guys had the understanding of astrology and stuff like that, man. You guys had understanding of the moon and the stars, right? Because give me that in Genesis, right? The Lord gave us the moon and the stars as pretty much signs for our times and seasons. And you guys had understanding of that. That was you guys' blessing. It should be in Genesis 1.
I got you.
So it all lines up, brother. You're an Issacharite from the nation of Israel, right? You're an Israelite from the tribe of Issachar, man, right? So you're not a Mexican, right? That's what they call us colloquially. That's what the white man calls us under this American government. But what God will call you, He'll call you Issacharite, man. He'll call you an Israelite, man. His favorite people, the only people in the world that He cares about, man. Right? His special people, and that's why we go through the persecution we go through. Come on, give me Numbers 15 and 13. Wherever it says sign.
14.
14.
This is Genesis 1 and 14. And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years.
So when God was making the creations of the earth in the world, that's what He made the sun, moon, and stars for. Basically for us to be able to divide our signs, times, and seasons, right? And the moon has you heard of the Sabbath? That's one of the commandments that God gave us, right? To keep the Sabbath day holy. The moon, right? American-wise, and what they call something called the Gregorian calendar, which was made by the Greeks, if I remember correctly. The Romans, that's what we follow today, right? We follow the Gregorian calendar, right? But we also have a Hebrew calendar that the Lord gave us, right? Which is not super different, but it's just structured differently. They tell us that, you know, in church or stuff, like some churches you go to, they'll say the Sabbath is on a Friday to Saturday, it's on Sunday. But God gave us, when he gave us the understanding of the Sabbath, right, we can go into that too after I go into the fringes. He gave us, like it said right here, the moon. The moon is how we determine the Sabbath, right? So yesterday, Thursday night to Friday night would have been the Sabbath, right? So that's how we also observe the what day it is. We go by the moon cycle, right? Now let me show you something real quick. Oh yeah, it's all good, brother. Let me show you this last thing, brother. And give me Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. Last two scriptures, right? Numbers 15 and 13, right? I want to leave you with a 38. I want to leave you with a commandment, right? Something that you can do, right? Because now that you know you're an Israelite, it's more to it, man. It's more to waking your life up in what we're supposed to be doing. Go ahead.
This is Numbers chapter 15, verse 38. Speak unto the children of Israel, and bid them that they make them fringes in the border of their garments,
Right.
throughout their generations.
So this is a commandment that we were supposed to be doing, right? Making fringes in the border of our garments, right? That's what the ancient Aztecs, that's what your ancestors did. They wore this, and this is how else we knew they were Israelites. You guys kept the commandments of God. Go ahead.
And that they put upon the fringe of the borders a ribbon of blue.
Right.
And it shall be unto you for a fringe, that ye may look upon it, and remember all the commandments of the Lord.
And it was for us to remember all the commandments that God gave us, right? Every time we look down, we're supposed to look at this and be like, I'm an Israelite. I'm God's chosen people. Go ahead.
And do them, and that ye seek not after your own heart and your own eyes, after which ye used to go a-whoring.
And it's a reminder that we don't go back to our old filthy ways, man. Being useless to God, man. We're supposed to be waking our people up, man, and waking back up the warriors so we can go back to being rulers, man. So we're not going to do this by ourselves, man. My brother made you some, man. We're not going to do this, man. We're supposed to put it on our, oh, my bad, bro, on our four garments, man. We're not going to, this fight that we're having, this war we're having in America, we're not going to win this with guns, man. We're not going to do this by ourselves, man. It's going to take divine intervention from the Messiah to save us out of this captivity, man. We can't win this with guns and go to war with the white man. We tried that, man. It's going to come. We're going to have Christ come back and destroy these people, man.
Right.
Give me that in Ecclesiastes, right? Leave them off with that, man. All praise to the Most High, man.
Right.
The water, the car.
Just show him how you do yours, huh?
Yeah. Just show him how to do it. He can do it himself. Now read this so we can let the brother go on his way. All praise to the Most High.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, and verse 13.
All right, man. All praise to the Most High, man, because this is what's going to get us out of this place, man. If you've been looking for the answers, this is the answer, man. Give me that before you read that one. This is the answer to our people's problem, man. Right? When you look to the left and the right. Give me that in Isaiah 30 and 21, right? If you've been searching for the answers in life, man, if you've been searching for what you're supposed to be doing, this is it. You're not going to find it in no Quran. You're not going to find it in the church. You're going to find it here in the Bible, man. Learn it from the Israelites. Learn it from the Lord's actual words, right? Read that.
This is Isaiah 30 and 21. And thine ears shall hear a word behind thee, saying, this is the way.
This is the way.
Walk ye in it.
Walk ye in it.
When ye turn to the right hand, and when ye turn to the left.
This is the way, right? You came up here and you got stopped for a reason. This is the way, man. It ain't no going back after this, man. You find yourself going back, man, you're going to find yourself in a box, man. That's how the Lord works, man. This is the only way we're going to get out of this as a people, right? This is the only thing that's going to keep us out of prison, right? Even if we got to go to prison for doing the Lord's work, this is what's going to get us out of here as a nation and build up for our ancestors. Some people ain't ready to make that sacrifice. If you got kids, you said, right? You don't want them to go through everything you went through, right? This is the way. This is how we free ourselves, right? Go ahead.
This is Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter.
Right.
Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man.
So this is your whole duty, Tom. To your kids, to your family. This is your whole duty, man. This is what's going to change everything. Not marching, not rap music, none of that, man. This is going to be the way, man. Learning these laws, statutes, commandments, and passing it on to our ancestors. Even if it don't happen right away, it all starts with one person, man. Change starts with one person. So you got to take that and take this to your family, and I'll leave you with this, man. Pass this knowledge on to your kids, man, so they don't have to go through this thing called death, man. This thing called hell that we're in. This is hell right here for us as so-called blacks and Latinos. Right. But we want to see heaven, right? They told us we got to die to go to heaven, man. But Christ said what? The kingdom of heaven is in you. How do you establish the kingdom of heaven? You keep his laws, because what we said, the laws was for us to be running a utopia, for us to run a heaven, man. We have to pass that on to our generations so they can pass it on, and they can pass it on, and eventually all this is going to be done for, man. Because this place is going to be blown up, man. Thus saith the Lord. The Bible already prophesied America's going to be blown up by Russia by thermonuclear war, man. Right. This place ain't going to be here too much longer. And you want to be the person that'll make it out, and you want to go ahead.
Finish your point.
And you want to save your kids from that, man. Because that's what people don't think of. They think of, yeah, these brothers just blowing smoke. But once you get this knowledge, especially if you have kids, you're going to be required of it more, man.
Exactly. And there's going to come a time that all this is going to be over with, man. It's prophesied that America will be destroyed. And as a father, this should scare the hell out of you, Reed.
We're going to leave you with this one. Go ahead.
Ezekiel 9:4. And the Lord said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry.
So Ezekiel was dealing with, the Most High was dealing with Ezekiel directly. And he was like, even from back then, the same thing we're doing now, we're marking people, right? I just marked you. Because once you hear this, you can't say you never got the chance to hear it. He's saying, go and mark everybody. Mark these people for life and death. Go ahead.
Mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof.
Mark these men that cry for the oppression. That's what we're doing. We're crying for the oppression of our people. That's right. We're tired of our people getting killed, going to jail, right? And nobody to help us. So mark these men, right? Go ahead.
And to the others he said in mine hearing, Go ye after him through the city and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity.
And for those people who don't care, for those people who just gonna let this go one ear out the next,
those that don't got the mark of the Most High's protection, basically. Because the verse 4 saying, go into the midst of the city and mark those who sigh and cry.
Right.
And that's the protection of the Most High. Now read 5 again.
Go ahead.
And to the others he said in mine hearing, Go ye after him through the city and smite. Let not your eyes spare,
right.
Neither have ye pity.
Don't let your eyes spare. Kill these people, right? Let these people, mark these people for death, and don't let your eyes spare. Go ahead. 6.
Slay utterly old and young.
Old people, young people, it doesn't matter. Everybody's gonna get it when the Lord's ready to send out his vengeance. Go ahead.
Both maids and little children.
Even kids, man. That's how the Lord deals, man. Even kids, man. Nobody that dies is innocent, man. Everybody has a judgment pending. Go ahead.
And women, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark.
Right.
And begin at my sanctuary.
Begin at his people.
Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house.
Exactly, right? So, don't come near anybody that has that mark. Don't kill anybody that has the mark of God, right? The people that are going to keep the laws of God and that are doing what the Lord wants, right? Because he saved many people. He saved Lot, right? He saved so many. The Lord is merciful, man. You want to be found in his mercy, man. So with that, man, I'll let you get on your way unless you got questions, man. But with that, that's all I have for you, brother, is to teach you that you're an Israelite, you're an Israelite. We got to keep the laws of God. And that's what's going to get us out of this, man.
I appreciate that.
For sure, brother.
All SICARII channels, subscribe.
I appreciate you guys.
If you got any questions,
you got my phone, you got that brother. Okay, all right?
For sure, brother.
We're out here every Saturday, Ken.
Yeah, be safe, man. And with that, we'd like to say, call halal, Yahweh Shimi Al-Shai, and Shalom.
Shalom.